Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here. Simply Rambling.
Simply Rambambling.
This is the one where we talk about whatever we feel like talking about, so there's no real pressure. Spoiler alert, tabletop games are pretty much always included.
Spoiler alert, there's something in the box.
What's in the box?
Oh, jeez, Scope.
I guess you'll find out at 13 minutes and 58 seconds.
That's a fucking lie.
Nope, watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
Prove me wrong.
Go to 13 minutes and 58 seconds right now.
Okay, if you're thinking like candy, like yeah, because I was going to say as someone who's consumed enough apple juice to actually kill like an elephant.
And then come back.
Wait, are you back?
They're probably already gone. I fucked that one up. I can
They're feel their eyes. They're back.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
I had something that I'm really passionate about, that I really wanted to talk about today, that I need you to know, and that I need you to know if you're listening. Pineapples are by far the best fruit. It's not close. Every time I eat a pineapple, I levitate.
Every time I eat a pineapple, I die.
I had a pineapple 1 week ago, and it was really great, and then my head hit the ceiling because I lifted off.
Okay, so I feel like
my feet left the floor, my head hit the ceiling, and I really enjoyed every second of it.
Are you sure you just didn't get taller briefly?
Nope. I looked down and my feet were not on the floor.
Yeah.
I levitate every time I eat one. Best fruit, it's not close. Well, okay, so here's the thing.
I was going to make your case.
I have to differentiate between best fruit and most delectable fruit, because it is, with no competition, the best tasting, most delicious fruit. There is a case to be made about it not being the best fruit, because there are some that are undeniably, objectively, like, staple fruits.
Okay.
But I basically just wanted to come out and say in front of everybody that pineapples, by a significant margin, the most enjoyable fruit to eat.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. I had no idea he was going to go into this.
No.
This is a surprise to all of us.
I told him a month ago that I had something I was passionate about talking about on the Simply Rambling episode. Never mentioned what it was going to be.
Yeah. I was expecting more elaboration.
I've got more elaboration.
Okay.
I was expecting you to get fired over that statement.
I was fired up for 2 weeks after deciding I was going to talk about that, and it's simmered down a little bit, but I'm still passionate about it.
I think we have two different definitions of fired here.
I was fired. You didn't see me for a while.
I mean, you look currently fired.
I get it. This is about me and my Guy Fieri outfit. It's a lifestyle, you son of a bitch.
Okay, but like I'm here at the TED Talk.
Okay.
Hit me up.
Okay. So, I think that there's a few categories that are important when talking about what the best fruit is.
Okay.
The one that this blows everything out of the freaking water about is how delicious it is.
Okay.
Best tasting fruit, not close.
I can give you that. Like, pineapples do taste good. I find it depends, like, sometimes when you get a pineapple, though, like, sometimes they're too acidic.
See, you got to pick a better pineapple.
Well, yeah, but, like, yeah, if you're talking cream of the crop here, though, like, I can totally get that. Like, sometimes, yeah, it's just like you eat it, so, like, I feel like coughing.
Like, I will, what's that word? You know the one. Concede. That's the one. I will concede that there are some fruits that are, like, really easy to tell when it's time. They're, like, the grouping is good. They're consistent. Like a banana. You always know what you're getting with a banana. So I would say that, like, bananas, apples, and oranges,
Yeah.
they are the three that I could see people, like, debating with me. Good luck. That they're the best fruit.
Okay.
And I do see that, like, they're consistent. They're always there for you. Like apples, for instance, zero work. Bananas, a little bit of work. Oranges, more work if you're me, because I don't like the little white bits that are on them.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, even if you're not super picky about it, the peeling process is definitely something that banana definitely has them beat by, and apple is just like, yo, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, oranges, they make full-on gadgets for you to peel those, so like, you can't tell me that that's easy to peel, because they make gadgets for them.
You can also make art out of it, though. You ever had like someone make a little elephant face out of an orange peel? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what I have? I have. And that's the one category that I think pineapples are lacking in, is that they do take preparation.
Yeah.
But
there's so much pine before the apple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It only takes me like 2 minutes to cut the whole thing, and then I will eat the whole pineapple in one sitting, sometimes 2 sittings, but it never lasts the day. And there's no other fruit out there that I want to eat 5 pounds of, like, back to back. It just binge eat a fruit. No other fruit.
I think we might have discovered a problem that you have.
They're really good. They're really good.
Like, you eat pineapples almost as much as I drink apple juice, which is actually an illegal amount.
There's a fridge, right? Peek behind the curtain, a fridge of apple juice.
There is a mini fridge of apple juice that Corey has stocked entirely full, so that when I am over here, my horrible apple juice addiction is sated.
He got cyanide poisoning last week.
That's totally correct. I also went to Costco, and because Corey had told me, hey, there's a huge pack of apple juice for an incredibly reasonable price, like all the tiny juice boxes. And he was like, oh, go. And so I did and checked it out. And I was like, wow, that is a lot of juice boxes for an incredibly reasonable price. And then I looked about
Go to Costco.
I looked about 2 feet to the left and then noticed like the full ass like liter size jugs for about the same price. Like the same amount of liquid in this pack versus this pack, but these had bigger denominations, and I was like, I will drink one of those huge things in one sitting, so I'm going to take that.
It's just a bigger juice box, and there's less messing around with the straws.
It's a grown-ass man juice box, and so I opted for those, and they're gone. I need to go to Costco soon.
Yeah, for real. Put me on your membership.
Sure. Just discussing Costco membership politics.
You see what I did there?
You see what I did there? I blackmailed you.
Yeah, in front of the camera.
Yeah, in front of all these people.
Okay, so anyway, what do you think is the best fruit?
I see, we're going to get argumentative. No. Limes.
Interesting stance.
Yeah.
I like a lime.
Yeah, I fucking love me a lime, actually.
By far, not close, the best smelling fruit.
Yeah. You'd think I'd like apples based on my previous stance, but no, only in liquid form, because that's where the suffering taste comes from.
Do you, like, just eat limes? Because I respect that.
No, I actually, what I like about limes is their pure ability to accent almost anything to be better.
There's nothing
not just like, okay, I'm not putting limes on fucking pizza. Like as much as many people are like, oh, I hate pineapples on pizza, I think limes on pizza would probably be a worse time.
Pineapples belong on pizza. Anyway.
But the ability for them to turn like okay, think of how many drinks you put, like many people do lemons. I'm all about the limes in drinks. If you put a lime in so many nice drinks, it's a fucking better drink.
Yeah.
It's just it's a quality. Yeah. It's like it's the same level to me of like quality of life increase in a liquid that you get when putting ice into a liquid.
Yeah.
And then when you do both, it's just like this is the best this could possibly be.
I would say it's even better than ice, because ice you sometimes end up with those little floaty things after the ice is melted, depending on what your water quality is like.
Yeah, mine is good.
Okay.
So I don't have that problem, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Although you could kind of balance it out by the time I was like, occasionally you might find a lime with a fucking like seed in it or something like that.
Sure,
by accident.
yeah.
So you could kind of just take both of those things and like just bring them back down to the same level.
So I just want to come out and say I think limes are great.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the best fruit.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't. You know what? That's a lie. I would eat a lime.
Yeah, I would straight up eat a lime.
But I would never go for it over like the classics. Because like an apple is always there for you. You genuinely like wipe it.
The variety
and then
of apples is actually insane.
Yeah.
It's actually staggering.
But also, I don't think anybody believes genuinely that apples are the best. Like, they're always there they're so reliable, but like, who gets excited about an apple? I get thrilled about a pineapple. Nobody gets that way for apples.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get you on that one, 100%. Although what I do think apples have over almost any other fruit is that variety. Like there's almost an apple for anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you've got firstly like the 3 different colors of apple, and then like how many different types of red are there?
Red, green, and blue.
But of course.
And indigo.
Okay, so I've actually been a little bit unclear on this. So yellow delicious is or golden delicious, sorry, is just piss, right? No, I'm kidding. It's apple pears, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, it's not. Asian pears are, I'm pretty sure, the ones that are the like hybrid between them.
Okay.
Yellow delicious is straight up just a genus.
I've straight up never had a
flavor.
golden delicious apple then.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Because I will absolutely destroy an apple pear.
Okay.
I often will be at the grocery store and then walk past them and then just be like, I want that.
They've got grape apples now.
Oh yeah, grapples.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they've had them for a while.
Yeah, that's weird though, right?
Oh, it's incredibly strange,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
really
also
weird.
actually they're pretty tasty.
So moving on from the weird like dystopian future that we've found ourselves in.
Yeah, I
where
can't wait for pizza flavored apples.
Interesting idea, thank you.
Noted.
So apples, good.
Yeah.
Like they're always in like the top 5. Everybody's top 5 apples. Oranges, they're really tasty. I love citrus, by the way.
Yeah.
I love oranges, but they're like kind of a lot of work for like how much actual like fruit you get.
Although weirdly, like a lot of work for then not a lot of work because it's pre-sliced.
That's true.
It's like
That's true.
you have to get a whole bunch of work, but then it's already sliced up
Yeah.
nicely for you. That's kind of funny how that works.
It's true. But like for how much actual fruit is in them,
Yeah.
more work than fruit.
It's like what people say about celery. Like you've already burned
Yeah.
all the calories
It's true.
trying to peel the orange
Yeah.
before you even eat it.
Yeah. So basically, where I'm getting at with this is that I'm prepping the stage here
Yeah.
to absolutely smite all of these classic fruits down by saying that the pineapple is just superior.
Okay. Continue with the smiting.
No other fruit makes me leave the ground.
Yeah.
For one. I don't care to eat an entire plate of any other fruit. Watermelon being the second most fruit I will eat in a sitting.
Oh, that's a huge contender though. Yeah, like watermelon's incredible.
However, my counter argument to that is I feel like watermelons are so like it's really hit or miss. Like sometimes you get a banging watermelon, and sometimes it's kind of ass.
Sometimes you get water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's not good.
Yeah, you get a water. Sometimes you get like a watermelon, and sometimes you get like a watermelon.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
The
hear
melon
you.
is significantly quieter.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No. Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Yeah, I hear you. 100%. The watermelon. I would. Okay. Now here's a weird thing for you. What do you think the best fake fruit taste is?
Fake fruit taste, blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry? Because I was gonna say I think watermelon takes that cake.
Okay. All right. See, I also genuinely, I'm not just saying this, really like fake pineapple flavor. Fake banana was big when I was a kid. Moving on from that.
Yeah.
Grape, quite good. Although that's also hit or miss. Like sometimes you get medicine grape and sometimes you get like grape crush.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably.
I like lemon lime.
Lemon lime's
very fair.
a goated
Yeah.
combo.
I think citrus, you're totally like safe.
Yeah.
Citrus, good. Apple, not good. Because I always go for the green ones, which, in my opinion, worse.
Okay,
apple.
if you're thinking like candy, like yeah, because I was gonna say as someone who's consumed enough apple juice to actually kill like an elephant, fuck you. But no, if you're sitting out there drinking green apple juice rather, like
yeah,
that's actual psychopath energy.
you're sick and you have to be put away
Yeah.
for your own safety.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I would try that, but I've never.
I don't think it exists, and for good reason. I've never seen it on any.
It
shelf.
does.
No, you're fucking.
No, we live in a very good fruit area, and there's some local companies that make like pop out of them.
Okay, pop I could see though, because your carbonation's gonna actually like, it's not just gonna be sour fucking water. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Like it's
Yeah.
kind of be like the sourness all of a sudden with the carbonation is gonna be like kind of like
I see what
a
you're
pizzazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas like if it's just like this
But
is
the
green
juice
apple
would be
juice, I
worse,
would just
yeah.
be like, this is sourness, and like I don't get the crunch
Yeah.
that's like kind of distracting me. Like
Yeah.
you're just like natural warheads.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that's fair. You're right.
Yeah, no, 100%. I personally like bananas because they give me either plus 15 malt or 3 times malt.
But 1 out of 15 times you use it, it'll go extinct.
You think I give a shit about the fucking environment?
This is a Balatro thing, or Balatro. Good game. Fun game. However, yes.
So what I can confirm for you, the
Yeah.
viewers, though, is that there is not pineapples, nor is there apples in the box. You're going to have to remain in order to see what the box is. Are we past 13 minutes? I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's about 13 minutes, 58 seconds. Let's open the box. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for skipping ahead to 13 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to open this box now.
Yeah. Are we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Let's do it. Do you want to talk about it first, or do you want to open the box first?
Well, so what I'm going to
Yeah,
say about
hit
the
us with
box...
it.
What?
The actual timestamp is currently 17 minutes and 23 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
so
fuck
welcome
around
back
for a
to
little bit.
13 minutes and 58
I
seconds.
think it's close enough.
Yeah.
Let's open the box.
Okay.
Or do you want to talk about it first?
Well, so this box I picked up, I think about a week ago, from a very special place to at least Corey and I. I'm not sure if you've been there.
I hate it. I'm just kidding. I think I know what he's going to say. I don't hate it.
So we picked it up from a little local place that's called Sweet Nam's Knickknacks. Shout out. It's a great place. Where you can buy...
I feel bad now. I want to clear the record. I don't hate Sweet Nams. I think that they're nice people.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, I hate that. I was like, you shouldn't have said that.
No, I just wanted to have a stance, you know?
It's like everyone on Twitter. It's like, I don't know what's happening,
I
but I
just
want to
wanna
have an
be
opinion
angry
about
about
it.
it, yeah.
I have to have something to
Yeah.
say, otherwise people are going to be mad at me for not having an opinion.
True.
Like,
Well, Ty, I'll just let you know they do watch us, so
I know. That's why. Yeah, like.
They'll know it's a joke.
Yeah.
you're a bad person.
Legally speaking.
Bad.
Joke.
The I love that though. That's probably one of my favorite stupid things the internet does, is the moment someone's like, I don't think this is any of my business, and nor am I educated enough to have an opinion on
Yeah.
it. So like, this person's silent about the controversy
Yeah.
says volumes. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like,
So there's a box here.
yeah,
It
and
came
Twitter's
from-
not. Twitter, formerly known as X, is not in the box.
As much as we wish it was, so we could bury it.
But so in this box.
In the box.
Yeah, the box, which I'm about to reveal to you after these messages. Buy grapes.
Don't buy the grapes.
Buy grapes.
The amount of effort Pineapples takes is worth it, trust me.
Buy grapes.
Come on down to Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Invest in Bitcoin.
Corey, strangely silent about grapes versus pineapple issue, says volumes.
Has nothing to say about Bitcoin. Hater or secret whale? Don't take... I'm joking. I don't have an opinion on this. My volume is silent.
Speaks volumes.
Speaking volumes.
Your silence...
I'm waiting for anybody to comment that you guys are bullying me and that they it just.
Well, we are. Is that not
It's true.
clear?
I
Yeah.
thought this was funny.
So this box contains...
Volumes.
So in reality, after all the fruit talk, we are actually here to talk about
Oh shit!
Daggerheart.
It's Daggerheart.
Yeah.
You know it. You've heard of that.
I
Do
sure
you know
hope
Matt
they have.
Mercer? Do you know Critical Role?
you
They
know-
made that.
Matt Morker.
Merch Masker.
Did you hear that? I think it was like lead rules designer.
Yeah.
Also jumped
So
ship.
funny.
That's
so funny.
That's such a power move.
I love the idea of Dungeons and Dragons. The company can lick. I don't care.
Yeah. But either way, so
I bleep that because technically that could cause legal trouble.
yeah.
No, it can't. It's an opinion.
Let's go.
Nonetheless, so for Tyler here, this is going to be his entirely first look. I've
Never even seen the box.
Yeah.
Never seen what's in it.
I bought it and I made a character and my wife made a character. I'm not even sure if we did it 100% correctly because I haven't actually read the core rules. I got about as far as character creation, which is typically that's very on theme for me because character-driven stuff is pretty well what fuels my psychosis.
Yeah.
And
And honestly, your silence speaks volumes.
but yeah, so I've made a couple, or I've made a character, and my wife made a character, and that's about as far as I've gotten to. And there's already a few things I've noticed about it that I actually really really like. But other than that, I'm completely unfamiliar with the rules. So
No, don't mind me.
okay, so there's certain things I don't. There's certain things I don't understand, like how ranges work, because as far as I can tell, there's instead of your sort of 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, like actual like direct measurements. Thank you very much. There is. I've already almost spilled a drink on this, so let's be careful. Which did in fact have a lime in it, believe it or not.
Sponsored.
Sponsored by the actual real life fruit of limes.
Do you know what these fruit companies are doing in foreign sovereign nations? It'll blow your mind. Anyway, let's talk about this game.
Yeah, and their silence.
Speaking volumes.
But yeah, so okay, so I've made a character, but there's what I was saying about ranges. They're measured in like melee, very close, and like more than that. So they appear to be measured in a little bit of like a slightly different way, in a more vague way, which is very interesting to me.
I really haven't heard much about it yet. I am getting the idea that a fair bit is a little bit more loosey-goosey than D&D, which doesn't sound like a bad thing to me.
From a very limited perspective, a lot of what this is how I've described it to everyone, is like, it seems to me like the people who made this game very much understood D&D and also a lot of other tabletops that I don't understand, but they took it and they removed much of the tedium. That is my first impressions. Again, only having gone through and made a character, so these are just merely first impressions. Things to point out basically right off the bat, out of the box. Bookmarks. You have 2 little lanyard bookmarks in color coding, and
Phenomenal colors.
They were actually super helpful in the character creation process to flag down what sort of sections you were kind of focusing on, and so you could look through that. So that was awesome.
No more puppy ears in your books.
Secondly, it's also cool because if you feel this.
Ooh. It's embossed. Everybody at home, this is embossed. Ooh.
It's
nice.
smelling my Daggerheart book, man.
I'm just smelling my finger.
Yeah,
And if you can't handle that, that speaks volumes.
I should not have sipped. But yeah, so it also looks like there's a lot of effort made into... Fuck out of here. A lot of effort made into just like making the book feel like there was a lot of effort put into it. Like I said, like there's a little bit of a different texture on the text and where it says core rulebook. Another thing, and I'm not sure if you knew this, Tyler, Daggerheart is played with cards.
Whoa! Interesting.
Did you not know that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, I'll explain what I understand about this later, but this is so much to do with your abilities. A lot of the abilities that you have as any class are going to be played out in cards instead of stuff you attach to a character sheet. The art on the box is fucking sick.
It's pretty cool.
Like,
Can confirm.
Not sure if you can see that effectively, or if we might need to like actually pull up an image or something like that. But so we'll leave these to the side for now.
It looked like the camera autofocus pretty good.
Okay,
Nice.
good. Yeah. So Tyler,
Yep.
let me introduce you to the world of Daggerheart. Daggerheart. So let's go. Let me introduce you, and I'm just going to skip past all these introduction pages. So we're getting straight into, here is all of the classes. Each class has 2 subclasses. That's pretty simple. And honestly, at release, that kind of makes a lot of sense. And it's very even. Doesn't feel like any one class has been spoiled over the other. And a lot of these, actually,
Rogue.
I see you noticed the rogue.
No, I was doing a thing. You remember when you... Never mind. If you know, you know.
I got it.
I'm glad somebody did.
Oh, I'm glad I'm completely in the dark.
With all those lights on you, how are you in the dark?
So we have Bard.
Classic.
I also like how there's like just small like 1-sentence write-ups. I'll just read them out to you, as I cannot just merely show you the pages. There is, within Bard, there is the Troubadour and the Wordsmith. The Troubadour, what it says underneath, if you want to play music to bolster your allies. Sounds very Bard to me. And then moving over to Wordsmith, if you want to use clever wordplay to, or if you want to use clever wordplay.
Clever wordplay
Well,
to captivate the crowds.
Yeah, if you want to use clever wordplay and captivate crowds. I feel like, yeah, it just kind of splits those into 2 fundamental archetypes of the Bard, very simply. Next up, you have the Druid. You have Warden of the Elements and Warden of Renewal. Elements is feels like it's your avatar. If you want to embody the natural elements of the world. And then when you're doing the Warden of Renewal, if you want to use powerful magic to heal your party. So druids actually appear to be one of the primary healing classes, which I know they have healing in D&D, but it seems to be in this there might be a little bit more of a focus on druidic healing, which is kind of a, again, it feels to me like, all right, you've split the idea that everyone has of a druid into 2 clean camps.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing really well at doing that throughout.
Yeah, because, I mean, you always have kind of like a preconception of what a class is, and this splits it right down the middle into the 2 camps that they usually fall.
Next up, you have the Guardian. You can play as a Stalwart or play the Vengeance. The Stalwart says, if you want to take heavy blows and keep fighting. So very clearly off the bat, you're like, oh, that's the tank. Next up, you have the Vengeance, which if you want to strike down enemies who harm your allies, which gives me a little bit of a fighter or like sort of berserker sort of feel. So obviously gives very much fighter, but I feel like there's more to it than that, which is interesting. Next up, we have the Ranger. Everyone's favorite class to discuss. And I think they've actually kind of handled that in the subclassing a little bit here. You have the Beastbound or the Wayfinder. The Beastbound, if you want to form a deep bond with an animal ally. Or the Wayfinder, if you want to hunt your prey and strike with deadly force. They finally defined Ranger. Actually well.
Because it's true. Ranger was always like the gray area of classes before, and it's funny because like the people half the time have never heard of Ranger, and in D&D this is, and they're like, I kind of want an animal pet. Boom! If you want to form a deep bond with an animal ally, that's a Ranger, baby. There it is.
Well, and or if you want to be like your sort of hunter archetype, like. Bam! They've just divided that like very, very cleanly into 2 groups.
It actually has an identity so far.
Exactly,
Great
which
start.
is incredible. Next up, we have the Rogue. They did something I think a little bit interesting with Rogue here. They So there is the Nightwalker or the Syndicate. The Nightwalker says, if you want to manipulate the shadows to maneuver through the environment. Or the Syndicate, if you want to have if you want to have a web of contacts everywhere.
Web of contacts.
A web of contacts everywhere you go. So this to me feels like an interesting distinction, because one thing I never particularly thought of about rogues was their social aspect. I never thought of it as their ability to deceive people, maybe sometimes, sure, but it just didn't feel like a strength of the class to me. And so this, to me, felt like a bit of a shakeup, because a character that I have in D&D is a warlock who is very much what I would consider...
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah. Me making a warlock? That doesn't make any sense.
You making a warlock would be like me making a warlock.
Yeah. Me making a warlock would be like you eating an entire pineapple whole.
Regular.
But yeah, so it was kind of a bit of a shakeup to me, but still very clearly defined. My character, who is very much about social contracts and stuff like that, very much about using the law in order to kind of get his way. As a warlock, that made more sense to me in D&D, but in this, his character plays more into the Syndicate, a rogue class. So there was a bit of a shakeup mentally for me there to see a character that I have, if I was to translate it into this game, would all of a sudden be kind of a completely different thing, which is exciting for me. So next up, we have the Seraph. You can play as the Winged Sentinel or the Divine Wielder. This feels very much paladin, very much like a paladin.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how the flying subclass turns out, because I have always banished Aarakocra from my games. Don't exist, because being able to fly at like immediately. Jinx can't talk for the rest of the episode. That shit, as a DM, horrifies me. Because, like, you can try your best to make it so, like, it's fine. Like, flying wouldn't throw off the game. They could go anywhere. Like, you put so much work into that. However, oh boy, could they fly into the princess's bedroom window and start really messing up your campaign. Or,
Her sheets.
Don't soil the princess's sheets. See, this is the stuff you have to worry about, because they could do that.
I feel like I scarred you ever since having an overly tall character. So you're just like, no one's reaching 10 feet off the ground anymore.
It's bad enough when your character is just tall as a DM, let alone when they can... they have a fly speed built in.
Oh my god.
Like, they shouldn't be able to fly before level, like, 10.
Should we tell, like, that whole story?
We've told it. It's fine.
Okay,
it's
fair
fine.
enough.
I haven't told it on screen.
Keep them guessing. Never let them know your next move.
The story's in the box. You have Winged Sentinel, which says if you want to take flight and strike crushing blows from the sky. Like you say, very much into flight. Or the Divine Wielder, if you want to dominate the battlefield with a legendary weapon.
I like that.
Sounds like Smite to me. Next up, we have the Sorcerer. I think they have a little bit of a different take on how Sorcerer works, which does kind of make sense. Elemental Origin, if you want to channel the raw power of a particular element.
Cobalt. Tin.
I cast... what is it? Oh no. Tungsten Ball Sack.
Yeah.
Nice. Or you have Primal Origin, if you want to extend the versatility of your spells in powerful ways. So immediately it's divided Sorcerer into, do you want clever elemental ways of handling things, or do you want sorcery points? Well, just like your twin spell, like your sort of your clever ways to look at magic, which I think
it's true. Yeah,
it really does divide
spells
it.
more versatile. Yeah, for sure.
We got Warrior coming up next.
A classic.
Call of the Brave or Call of the Slayer. Call of the Brave. If you want to use the might of your enemies to fuel your own power. Sounds kind of cool off the bat.
That is pretty cool.
Just immediately, this sort of ability to turn your enemies against themselves is just immediately intriguing to me. Next up, you have the Slayer, which says, if you want to strike down adversaries with immense force. That's your big swingus. That's your ginormous bonk, it sounds like. Super cool to me. Next up, Wizard. You have School of Knowledge or School of War. The knowledge School of Knowledge says, if you want a keen understanding of the world around you, or you can play School of War. If you want to utilize trained magic for violence. Father, I crave violence. This feels to me like the subclass of knowledge feels less to me like a combat focus, like obviously, but the idea of having a combat
one of them is more war focused than the other one, who maybe searches for knowledge instead of war.
Yes, you're right, but it's interesting to me because it dissects or divides rather the wizard into your fireball caster or your player who's actually weirdly overly fascinated in your lore. They've made like a whole subclass just for the person who's going to ask you what everyone's name is. No, but it is actually kind of interesting that it's like knowledge is actually like a huge
weapon. No,
true.
Knowledge is
mightier than the sword.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it is interesting to me how they made. I see you looking at me.
So stupid, but I'm just getting the aftershocks of my own joke.
How they made a class that's just so much based on, okay, we're going to accumulate information that will be helpful to the party, and that is their specialty. So I found that very, very interesting as well. But anyway, so that is the entirety of all the classes, which you might notice a an us favorite missing.
No warlock.
Yeah, there's no warlock. Or no warlock equivalent even.
Yeah.
Which I find fair because it is honestly, I think like Ranger, warlock is one of those weirdly defined ones.
I think from the first time ever possibly seeing these, I think warlock in the old school kind of game probably blends in fairly well with sorcerer, maybe even primal origin, because that's like
that was kind of the thing about warlocks is all of a sudden you have few spells but powerful magic.
Yeah, I think because the core identity of warlocks is that like you have this magic from a source other than standard source. And I don't know anything about these classes yet, but I think that I could probably see that being a sorcerer thing. But you might be able to blend it with a bunch of different things.
Yeah, so that's kind of our first look at all of the class options. Next, you get heritage. Heritage it's actually two things. It says choose your ancestry and choose your community. This is basically your species and your background. Both of these are kind of lumped into the same area. They're handled excellently in my estimation here. There's a lot of different ancestries, lots to choose from. A lot of them are just sort of your animal folk, but I think they've handled it very well. And then your community is also very interesting. Not the highest number of them, but I feel like they're broad enough that you can easily make it work for any character idea. So there's a lot of flexibility here. So you have to choose between those, which we will get to here. Another interesting thing, change up in character traits. So what used to be your strength, dex, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, charisma, has now been modified a little bit. A little bit.
Spoiler alert, these look better.
Yeah. I like how they have put a few just little things that these apply to. And you'll actually notice in my giant pile of character sheets here, how they've designed the character sheet is right beneath each of the actual abilities. There's 3 things that showcase what this stat is used for. And just having those 3 on there is always super helpful to me. And I think especially as a DM, because you can look at those, and when there's something overly specific, you can look at all of these examples and think to yourself, okay, if I'm choosing between, dexterity or strength on this, what do I think would apply more? And you're always thinking that as a DM, of course, but I think having these little examples just displayed for you is awesome.
Yeah, it gives you a quick reminder, like, does it fit in better with this one than the other ones? Because sometimes the lines blur a little bit in 5e, like, oh yeah, that could be intelligence or it could be wisdom, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
wisdom and intelligence is probably the better example, yeah.
But this one, you've got agility, sprint, leap, maneuver, strength, lift, smash, grapple, finesse, control, hide, tinker.
Finally something for tinkering, oh my god.
Instinct, perceive, sense, navigate, presence, presence, charm, perform, deceive, and knowledge, recall, analyze, comprehend. Notice how all of those are so much more distinct from each other.
Yeah, it's a good way they've done traits. So not much more to say on that. Oh, other than how you distribute your modifiers. Firstly, you don't have this sort of translation of one number to the other. You're not translating 20 to mean +5. You're not translating 12 to mean +1. You are translating merely just modifiers. Only modifiers. And you distribute modifiers that are just given to you at level 1 off the bat. You have a +2, a +1, 2 zeros, or actually, sorry, let me repeat that. A +2, 2 +1s, 2 zeros, and a -1. And you take those and you put them wherever you see fit. So there's no more rolling, there's no more discussion on what's the best manner of rolling. Are you rolling just a raw d20? Are you rolling d6s? Are you rolling d6s drop lowest? Are you drop... It's just like, no, here's the modifiers, you're level 1. You have 1 thing you're pretty good at, 2 things you're okay at, some stuff you're completely neutral at, and you have to be bad at 1 thing. That feels super good to me because automatically... One thing about creativity is that limitation actually helps.
Yeah. Because before, like, you would always have, like, you make up a new character, your rolls kind of suck. That sucks. Everybody else at the table rolled better. It is what it is. Like, you play as it was formed. That's how your character was born. But sometimes you get characters that are better than other characters because of the way that they were rolled.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel like, well, I didn't roll really well, so can I just roll again? And then because
you shouldn't feel like my character's not as good as I want. Like now what do I? Can I roll that again? Yeah, you get what you get.
Yeah, and then it's like, and there's always the argument for like point buy and stuff. But this just feels like it's handled it like just incredibly simply and much better. Because the only thing I will say is there is the occasion where I'm making a character that is kind of just so offhand that you kind of want it to be random. But in that case, I feel like you could just kind of randomize how these are displayed. So, but I found that very interesting. There's no rolling for your stats. You are just applying them where you see fit. And then you can, next page, I think is choose starting equipment. And...
Ooh, tell us about how your background works.
Yeah, so your background, actually, we'll get there right quick. Just another thing, did you know this is played with 2 d12s and not a d20?
Scandalous. Continue.
Did you actually?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
You told me it was played with cards.
You.
Stop playing with my emotions.
No, there is cards mostly for your abilities, but when it comes down to rolling checks and such, it's actually played with 2 dice, a hope dice and a fear dice. That is all I will tell you for now, because I think for the most part we're looking at character creation. So to go to background, we kind of have to skip forward in the book here a little bit. Nope, that's classes. So there's write-ups and features about these, but I'm kind of just going to scroll through them with a general, hopefully one-sentence answer. So you have your highborn. You're a rich girl, and you've gone too far. Next up, you are loreborn. This is...
You're a rich girl is all you need to know.
Yep, no, that's all you need to know. Next up, loreborn. You are a book person. You read the books. You have the smart. You are so smart, SMRT. Orderborn. You're in like a military sect or a religious order of some kind. You're in some sort of structured order or society. Makes lots of sense. Next up, you got Ridgeborn. You're born on the mountains, baby. You're way up there. You got snow, rocks. You got Seaborn. That one, super complicated. No, it's you're on boats and at the beach. And California girls, they're unforgettable. You've got Slyborn. You're a fucking criminal. Underborn. You have underwear, and no, you're born underground. You're in the underdirk. You have Wanderborn. You are nomadic. That's kind of cool. It's like, well, what if I didn't have like a place where I actually was like born and stayed?
If you've seen our world building videos, you know that I love nomadic people.
And then you have Wildborn. You're a forestman, or a jungle lass. That's it.
Okay.
That's what you got. I could tell you all of the features to this, but I kind of don't want to spoil it either. So
we won't.
yeah, basically. But this is the thing, is what I actually like about what they did about this is they're vague. And when it comes down to backgrounds and how they actually affect your character...
This is what I was getting at.
The idea of them being vague enough that you're with highborn, like, okay, like I said, you're a rich person, you're born of a rich family. That's kind of all that's told to you in this. And then you have one feature that really generally applies. And it feels like it would apply to anyone in the circumstance of being born into a rich family. Moving on. Loreborn, again, very broad. It's like, okay, you tell us your backstory, but you do get this one perk to do with these very general areas. So it's very, very fascinating to me. And some of the perks that you get are really cool. You'll just have to, actually buy the book and check it out. Ancestry.
.ca. Use code
Rich girl.
Find my grandma. And you can continue.
Yeah.
I don't like where I was going with that. I think that was stupid. So we'll continue reading the book instead.
No, I'm going to linger on this now.
Okay. Ancestry helps you find...
Stop.
What do you want from me?
The very first thing in Ancestry is fucking robots, man. Hell yeah.
I like a robot.
Let's go. I'm just kind of happy that they were like, all right, you can have robots. They are known as clanks.
Nice.
Fucking clankers. you've got your robots. And one thing I will actually say about the art direction of the book that I really, really appreciate, as you look through your
The art in here is
ancestries-
awesome, by the way.
The art is awesome, but one thing that you'll notice about specifically within the ancestry area is you have these sort of scribbly-wibbly, like as if they're sketches,
Yeah,
sort of
blueprints.
art.
Yeah.
Blueprints. And I feel like when it comes down to like how you visualize your character, the ancestry or species in D&D terms is where so much of it's going to come from visually. Because, okay, you have your class, which will indeed have an effect, but nothing has more of an effect on what your character looks like than the ancestry. And so, as such, they made all of the ancestries have these sort of cool sketchbook looking, like they have one fully fleshed out image. And then the rest of it is...
These are ideas, man.
Yeah, it's all ideas. It makes it feel, I think, like you're drafting up your character. And that was just something I kind of noticed as I was going through. I was like, the art in this area is different than the rest of the book, but it's for a reason. There's so much thought put into it. One thing that you find as a theme as you go through here is that they show, most of the time, a young, for example, Clank, an adult Clank, and an elderly Clank. So it also shows you the sort of life cycle of that type of character. So there's so much to this about just, even as you're reading the book, it's kind of drawing you in and making you come up with ideas in the same way that you might if you were more experienced in it. So that was just one little detail that made me feel like they really put a lot of thought into this book. Now back to Clanks. Ancestry features. You have... Okay, actually, one more tangent as well. Every single ancestry has precisely 2 things about them. You don't get speed. You don't get all this other stuff. It's simple. You get 2 things. The Clank's 2 things are purposeful design. Decide who made you and for what purpose. At character creation, choose one of your experiences that best aligns with the purpose and gain that best aligns with that purpose and gain a permanent +1 bonus to it. We'll come back to experiences in a moment. And efficient. When you take a short rest, you can choose a long rest move instead of a short rest move. That's something I haven't checked out yet. Apparently there are like long rests have like functions to them. There's a handful of things that you're able to do within that amount of time. That seems like it's just outside of SLEP. But that's something I haven't checked out yet. Dracona. Their features are scales. Your scales act as natural protection. When you would take severe damage, you can mark a stress to mark 1 fewer hit points. You're a Toughman. Elemental breath. Big fucking shocker. Choose an element for your breath, such as electricity, fire, or ice. You can use this breath against a target group of targets within very close range. Target it as an instinct... Sorry, pardon me. You can use this breath against a target or group of targets with very close range, treating it as an instinct weapon that deals D8 magic damage using your proficiency. Another thing, notice there isn't a list of elements that you can use. They said, such as these 3, for example. You make it up. We don't fucking care. It's all about you creating your character and having very little limitation. We got dwarfs. My boy / girl, but I freaking love me some dwarfs, man. The dwarfs, their features, thick skin. When you take minor damage, you can mark 2 stress instead of marking hit points. Or increased fortitude, spend 3 hope to half incoming physical damage. So they're all about resistances, which was something that kind of showed through in the D&D interpretation of dwarves. But this, it's very, very focused. So I feel like they dropped a lot of the bloat around dwarves as an idea and just thought, Let's give them something that they're excellent at.
They've definitely taken out a lot, like you said, of the tedium and the like numbers and details and made it a lot more focused, a lot more refined, and yet also simultaneously a lot more up to your creative interpretation.
No, it's so much more about the creative interpretation. Moving on to many people's favorite, the elf. You have quick reactions. Mark a stress to gain advantage on a reaction roll. Just to touch on, stress is basically a resource that you have in the game. So as you mark a stress, it is basically the same as, it feels the same as marking sort of a spell slot, but to do more broadly.
For instance, I get 1 stress every time I go to work, and if I get 7 of them, I have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, sounds about right. That's typically why they try to limit you to 5. Try to. Or you get Celestial Trance. During a rest, you can drop into trance to choose an additional downtime move. Again, I've read 0 on downtime. It feels like it's going to be so much more important and so much more involved, which could be cool. You have fairies. This is an interesting one that is outside of what you see in your sort of core D&D. So is the Clank, but that was robots are controversial, I find, when it comes down to your fantasy settings.
In fairy, they've got like some kind of like almost like fey, elfy type people, and then also straight up a beetle character, and some buggier looking people.
That is one thing they say, particularly in here, but also to do with almost all of like the animal people. They basically tell you, we do not give a shit how much of a, because the fairies are just interpreted basically as insect people for the most part. They're like, we don't care how much insect or how much person is there. You can be anywhere in between. Do whatever you want. We don't have limitations on these things. And that's a theme. No limitation on your character. So the ancestry features for fairy. Once per session, after you or a willing ally within close range makes an action roll, you can spend 3 hope to re-roll the duality dice. Little bit like your sort of halfling luck. But also a little different. And then also, they straight up have wings. You can fly.
We'll talk about that later.
You can fly. While flying, you can mark a stress. After an adversary makes an attack against you, you gain +2 bonus to your evasion against that attack. So a little bit more evasion to do with the fact that you have actual wings. Next up, we have the fawn. It's your sort of satyr or goat person sort of archetype. These guys have one of my favorite abilities, which is the second one. So the first one is the Caprine Leap. You can leap anywhere within close range as though you were using normal movement, allowing you to vault obstacles, jump over gaps, and scale barriers with ease. So you got a big boy jump. Or kick. When you succeed an attack roll against a target within melee, when you succeeded an attack roll against targets within a melee range, you can mark a stress to kick yourself off them, dealing an extra 2d6 damage and knocking back either yourself or the target to very close range. So you can push yourself back or them forward. I'm going to be kicking people off cliffs left and right. Are you kidding me?
There's no cliffs in my world.
Oh yeah? Is your Earth flat?
Nope. It's round and perfectly flat.
Yeah, it's round and so spherical, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfectly smooth, like my brain. But another instance where they're just like, you can be as human-looking or as goat-looking as you want. Next up, you got the Furbolg, baby. Furbolg. Very much the Matt Mercer interpretation that is, as far as I've seen, has mixed opinions. But they definitely lean into the cow person aesthetic of
That's fun. I like that.
Matt Mercer's interpretation. Their ancestry features. Charge. When you succeed on an agility roll to move from far or very far range into melee range with one or more targets, You can mark a stress to deal 1d12 physical damage to all targets within melee range. So you give him a big ol' headbutt. You run right at him. And unshakable. When you would mark a stress, roll a d6. On a result of 6, you don't mark it.
Pretty cool.
That feels like that would be so satisfying every single time that you get one. Like, can you imagine? It's like the same, like I said, it's like you spend it like a resource, sort of like spell slots. Can you imagine if there was just a possibility of you just like not having to spend a spell slot?
Yep. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Fungrel.
Nice.
These are mushroom people, and they have some of my favorite art in the entire book.
You love to see it.
They actually have some of the coolest abilities in the entire thing. Fungal network. Oh, pardon me. Make an instinct roll, 12, to use your mycelial array to speak with others of your ancestry. On a success, you can communicate across any distance. So you just straight up get a psychic connection, provided you roll well enough, with any other member of your race. You can just talk in your fucking head. That's cool. Next up, Death Connection. While touching a corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one memory from the corpse related to a specific emotion or sensation of your choice. You have like mild commune with dead. That's just, how fucking cool is that as a
It's pretty cool, man.
as an ancestral bonus.
I like the Fungrel.
They're wicked. Next up, we got the Galapa. They are your turtle folk. Also have really cool art. Theirs are a little less out there, and but I still think they would be fun and cool. You have Shell. Gain a bonus to your damage thresholds equal to your proficiency. So it's the same as kind of getting a higher sort of armor class. Or rather, a higher resistance. And you have Retract. Mark a stress to retract into your shell. While in your shell, you have resistance to physical damage. You have disadvantage on action rolls, and you can't move. Sounds about right. Big defense, little movement. We have the Giant. By the looks of it, giants are not as giant as in Dungeons and Dragons. They're size-wise a little bit more akin to what you might call the Goliath. They're about a third taller, maybe twice as tall. They have Endurance. Gain an additional hit point slot at character creation. You're beefier. And Reach. Treat any weapon, ability, spell, or other feature that has a melee range as though it has a very close range instead. You have Long Arms. We got goblins. Goblins are a core ancestry.
We got goblins, folks. Call the fumigators.
Theirs are Sure-footed, which is you ignore disadvantage on agility rolls. Pretty cool. And Danger Sense. Once per rest, mark a stress to force an adversary to re-roll an attack against you or an ally within very close range.
Yeah, nimble little guys.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking cool. Their visual interpretation of goblins, I think, is also really cool and makes them, I think, a little bit more desirable as a playable race rather than an enemy. And
they're almost a little bit more mousy than they are nasty, gross little creeps.
It makes them a little bit more desirable as a playable race rather than an enemy. We got halflings. Halflings are up. Ancestry features. You got Luckbringer, to no one's surprise. At the start of each session, everyone in your party gains a hope. At the start of each
I like that.
session. Sessions are an actual measurement in this game, it appears. That's just funny. I love that. And Internal Compass. When you would roll a 1 on your hope die, you can re-roll it. Classic. We got humans. Those guys. Everyone hates those guys.
I guess I'll make all of my characters humans.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Not this time.
They have high stamina, gain an additional stress slot at character creation. You can be more stressed out.
Good for us.
That doesn't make any sense. And adaptability. When you fail a roll that utilized one of your experiences, you can mark a stress to reroll. It will be to experiences very soon. We have Infernus, and definitely not Kingsley sitting right on the front page. Definitely not.
This is not a tiefling, legally speaking.
There's little critical role Easter eggs that you'll find throughout the whole thing, the whole book, and it's fun to find them. But so they have Fearless. When you would roll with fear, you can mark 2 stress to change it to a roll with hope instead. That's something you'll have to read up on a little bit closer, is the difference between rolling with hope and rolling with fear. But basically you turn a scary roll into a not scary roll. And then you have Dread Visage. You have advantage on rolls to intimidate hostile creatures. You can keep up that edgelord facade. It's gonna work for you. You have the Qatari. They're cats. They're cat people. Rejoice.
We've done it.
Yeah.
We made it.
Everyone go home.
This is what we wanted. This is what we came for.
Feline Instincts. When you make an agility roll, you can spend 2 hope to re-roll your hope die. Hope is very much like stress, a resource that you can spend. Retracting Claws. Make an agility roll and scratch a target within melee range. On a success, they become temporarily vulnerable. Vulnerable is a status effect. Couldn't tell you what it is, but what I can tell you is why I actually love that. Because it's not like Skyrim where it's just like, oh, my claws do damage, so I don't need a weapon. Great for speed runs. Frankly, not that cool to me to just have weapons and then they get replaced by better weapons later. It's actually something that applies a status effect. And so even when you have a clearly superior weapon, it still might be worth using your claws. So I love that interpretation. We got Orcs. Your Borky boys. Sturdy. When you have 1 hit point remaining, attacks against you have disadvantage.
Nice.
And Tusks. When you succeed on an attack roll against a target within melee range, you can spend a hope and gore the target with your tusks, dealing 1d6 damage. You give him a good old bite. You give him a chomp. Big old honker chomp. You have, next up, a ribbit. These are frog folk.
Yes!
Yeah, these guys are neat. They have amphibious. You can breathe and move naturally underwater. And long tongue. You can use your tongue to grab onto things within close range. You can mark a stress to use your tongue as a finesse close weapon that deals a d12 physical damage using your proficiency. So you got a licky weapon. Actually, by the looks of it, yeah, just outside of your sort of melee range, which could be super useful at certain times. Just those moments where it's like, I can't quite get to him. So I'm gonna lick him. Yeah, exactly. And last but certainly not least, the Simia or Samaya. Considering it's probably based on the word simian, I'm gonna call it Simia. These are your monkey folk. There's a lot of variation in these guys. You got small monkeys, you got big monkeys, you got your gorilla folk. There's a lot of variation here. You got baboons. It's pretty cool visually.
There's naked chimpanzees. You should see them. They're scary. Ah!
Natural climber. You have advantage on agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing. And ancestry features. Nimble. Gain a permanent +1 bonus to your evasion at character creation. So they're bouncy boys. They have a lot to do with your sort of movement. And then one of the coolest things, this isn't a specific ancestry, you have mixed ancestry. And the basic gist of this is you can choose any 2 ancestries to mix together, and you have to choose the first feature of one and the second feature of the other.
That's pretty cool.
So you can't have
That's pretty cool.
the first and first or second and second feature. So there's a little bit of limitation on what exactly you're mixing together about these things. And I'm sure they actually thought out the balance of that, and specifically with their...
Well, I did notice that a lot of the ones that have like built-in, like sort of class-specific like
Damages.
weapons,
Yeah.
were always the second one. So
Well, exactly. So you can't have the tongue of the
and
ribbit.
the claws.
Yeah, and or the flying, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
So it's balanced out in a way so that when you do choose mixed ancestry, you're not just power gaming, but man, it's cool. Like even some of the art they have here, they have like the turtle folk with the fungrels, like the fungus folk.
Yeah.
And he's got a he's a turtle but with like a mushroom cap back. It's just adorable. But how cool is that? Instead of going the Dungeons and Dragons route of being like, now nobody can mix, and also even previously only these ones could mix. No, they're like, do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a theme about this entire book, is the do whatever you want. These are your bonuses for doing so. And so lastly, the last thing I wanted to touch on is experiences. These are your proficiencies, basically. They don't have a list of them. It's not like, hey, you got your stealth, you've got your athletics. No, there's none of that. It just says, I don't know, make them up yourself, which I find incredible. We don't, like this book says, we don't know what your character's good at. You tell us. Now it does specify, don't make it super vague. It's kind of no fun if you have something that just kind of applies to everything or is so vague that it almost applies to nothing. You can't just say everything.
My guy's good at everything,
Yeah.
and so I always get a plus to it. And he's bad at looking deep inside himself and figuring out what's bothering him.
Yeah. So they say you can do this with like your sort of your talents, like blacksmith or herbologist, stuff like that. But there's also stuff that is a little bit more general, like you can just say stealth. But what I personally like the most is their suggestion of using like phrases and stuff like that. Like the one that I used for my character was Beacon of Hope. Interpret that how you will, but how I basically pictured it being used as my character is he's a very inspiring person to be around. If they are feeling despair and he's trying to cheer somebody up or make them feel more hopeful, he's good at that. That's not on a list. You just make it up. You just have the ability to make your character good at whatever you want. It's incredible. Yeah. And so at the beginning, you get 2 of these. You just write them down and you get a +2 to whatever they are, and then it proceeds from there. But that's
Less numbers,
so cool.
less details, and yet more specific to your character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so much about, we don't know what you want to make out of this. So here's enough limitation for you to get creative around, but
And enough
it's not
artistic freedom for you to make whatever you want.
exactly. And you're not looking at tables and
Yeah.
tables of, okay, here's what your character's good at. Oh, your character's a little short king, so he's going to have less movement and be
Yeah.
punished for the fact that you're
Yeah.
choosing this. It's almost always bonuses. Here's what your character's good at, or here is what you can choose to make your character good at. Here's all the bonuses. Take those and run with them. There's no, sorry fam, you wanted to have a slightly sort of weirder elemental breath weapon, like, I don't know, light or something like that? No. You get to just choose. You just get to choose. It's all about the choice, man. It's great. So that's most of what I found, just a quick touch on the character creation aspect of this stuff. Now, I see you picking at the cards.
Maybe.
When you pick a class, the one thing that does have a table is class sort of talents. What do you call them here? Let me just find it here. Domains. You can see here. Here, but it's probably easier if you just look it up. Because I think you can find these tables just online. The domains of each class. You will notice every class is in between two domains. These domains are Arcana, Grace, Blade, Midnight, Bone, Sage, Codex, Splendor, and Valor.
Yeah, this is interesting. I like the way they set this up.
Doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
immediately visually intriguing.
Yeah.
It's also functionally intriguing because it's like the magic color wheel. Like
Yeah.
immediately there's sort of archetypes that kind of stand out. But sort of every class has sits in between two domains, and so it kind of can touch both. So let's start with Druid. Druid rests firmly in between Arcana and Sage. Arcana is the domain of innate and instinctual magic. Just going to keep it at that one sentence. Sage is the domain of the natural world, and so as such, the Druid, magic, natural world. Bam! You mix those together. But let's go over to Rogue, for example. Rogue is in between Midnight and Grace. Midnight is the domain of shadows and secrecy. But then you have Grace. Grace is the domain of charisma. Flat out, there you go. But then let's inch.
It is interesting that they made charisma the thing for rogues in this one, because 95% of rogues in D&D, charisma's their dump stat.
They're edgy boys. I'm stuck. But you inch down to the other side of Grace, for example, where the Bard rests. Bards have Grace, obviously, but now their other one is Codex. So Codex is the domain of intensive magical study. And so the Bards have this sort of, study about them, but also the charisma. And so all of these classes rest somewhere in between these. And it helps you flesh out the idea behind the class.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's a cool
Purely
system.
visually. But also, it applies to the cards.
Yay!
So these cards,
Oh my god, do they ever? Neat.
there is groups of these cards that are all to do with domains. Every domain has a set of cards. Some of them are leveled, so you can't just pick the coolest thing off the bat.
Nice.
But for the most part, I think, now I haven't checked this out, but I'm pretty sure you get a hand of 5 cards. And you get to choose these cards based firstly on your level. You have to choose between the cards that are within your ability. So you can't just pick what is a level 10 blade card for your level 1. You can't do that. So you have some limitation. But you get to pick what cards you get as long as they're within one of the 2 domains that your class is connected to. That's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
cool.
Like, firstly, I just love cards, man. Like, I'm just huge into just like card games and like, I don't know, fucking flashcards. I just think cards are cool. And so to take the cool clickety-clackety dice game and then add cards to it is just huge for me.
It was
It's
a good move.
just huge.
Yeah, big move. Big upgrade.
And so
We've all got the same opinion there.
yeah, just the ability to just add the one thing that I think tabletop games, or at least D&D, seem to be missing, and it was cards, and they put it in there. But this is also the reason all of the classes and ancestries and stuff get to be so simple. All of them exist. Like, every class just has one page. Every ancestry just has one page. Here it is. Here's the basic description and the 2 things and some cool art. You understand that off the bat, but then when you really get into the weeds, the complicated stuff, your spells and abilities, it's the cards that you get to go through. Like you're trying to make a Magic the Gathering or Pokemon deck. You get to try and find the synergies between Grace and Midnight, for example, if you're a rogue, and think, I want to make a build based on this. And then you're making a deck basically, but then you have your character involved.
Got a question for you.
Got an answer for you.
Do you make a deck, or do you choose these abilities like spells at the beginning of the day? Do you draw randomly? How does that work?
That I couldn't actually tell you.
You lied to me.
Yeah, but I do know. I think you have a hand of 5. I'm not sure if you have that off the bat, because I think there's only a small amount you can pick from that are like your sort of level 0 cards. So you might have less. This is just all speculation on my part as we're moving forward. So just call me a big dumb idiot in the comments or whatever.
You heard him.
Go on. But nonetheless, I'm not sure if you build like a deck. Oh, actually, cool. From what I scanned through, I do think you kind of have like ones that you just get to add. But I think it's what's called your vault, which is basically your deck.
Right.
And then you have to, so I think you do kind of swap them out at your rest period, which, like I said, the rest period also seems to be a lot more involved. Right. So that would make a lot more sense. These are mostly just based on my first glances and everything. So I'm uneducated, but I just wanted to gush about it because it's so goddamn cool.
Pretty cool. I'm excited to make character. I'm excited to give it a shot.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to do so, because I've done so. And I've made everyone else do so you're the last one. Yeah, I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be sick. But these are my first glances at, or first thoughts on Daggerheart, and these are your first glances.
I've never seen this before. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited to play.
Do you have like a sort of...
Oh man, it was tough.
Winding thoughts. There's a lot of information.
I want to build a bunch of characters. It was like every time I'd read one, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do something with that. And then like 2 things later, I'm like, oh, I want to do that more. So I actually don't know what I want to do first, but I'm excited to build, and I'm excited to see how this all comes together, and I want to give it a shot. So that's pretty cool. I think they did a really good job of making things less bogged down in the details of like tiny numbers, tiny specifics, and made it more like free and also unique to what you want it to be.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Okay, things I will take away from this, from my first glances, is one, yes, they've removed most of the tedium. Even your hit points, as you might do some more research, they're not just general points. You're working with like a small handful of slots. So a lot of the what's 35 minus 17 again? That's gone. You're just subtracting a small amount, so all of that tedium's gone. Secondly, they are making the functionality of the game more about creativity.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of this, is there's very, very little limitation, but enough so that you have to still be creative.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, even the art direction of the book is still leaning into the feeling of learning and how to create your characters. Like just even the small details make you want or think about, what are these details about my character?
Very much there was a lot of like, here's a really, really cool and unique thing, and then here's like 5 different sort of blueprint-esque steps on like different ideas. And that's pretty cool, because it does kind of, like you said, make you sort of imagine all of these different like options and stuff like that. It's just throwing a bunch of ideas at you and you're like, oh yeah, and then also what about this?
Yeah, this book off the bat, when it comes down to the character creation, breeds creativity.
Yeah.
So that's our first look at this. Hopefully my horrible ability to read out loud was still, listenable. But I just wanted to gush about this because I've been freaking out about it. It's so cool to see how polished this is, and that's one of the few things I could say definitively is this is a well-polished experience.
They were cooking this up for a long time, and it's made by people who are passionate about not only gaming and community, but especially creativity. And one notable thing is it really doesn't seem like there's any punishments, like you said, where sometimes if you want to play this thing, well, you're going to have to live with the downsides too. It was all about like what makes that thing cool and fun to you.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of passion put into this, and it shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're way over time, I think. So
We're double.
but thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next
Yeah,
one.
and if you don't think that pineapple is the best fruit, you're wrong. Bye for now.
See ya. Who's on intro?
Whoever you decide,
Yeah.
because this is a rambling video. So
Cool.
Thanks for joining us here, Simply Rambling.
Yeah. Rimply sampling.
Bet you never thought you'd hear my voice doing this.
Wait, let me try and dub. Or dub me.
Like with a voice recording? Oh god.
No, like you actively talk and I will lip sync it.
Oh no. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here, Simply Rambling. Our show where we just...
That's not working.
Yeah.
It was worth a shot, but that's hard.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll just do it.
Sure.
yeah,
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
yeah, no. I think it'd be a bit different if I actually had a mic.
That's true. Yeah, you're
So I
right.
don't have to yell.
It's true. Hey there.
Hop!